Hey guys, Little Game Boy 5 here, and welcome to a tutorial video. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. This is concerning the PS4 Pro. You guys probably noticed that when you play games like Warzone, Red Dead 2, Last of Us Part 2, the PS4 Pro specifically the fan would start to spin up and, make this really loud jet noise. Like, you hear people in the comments, just joking about how it sounds like PlayStation Airlines, which I thought was funny, but I know people are really annoyed with that. To get some perspective, this won't make the fan noise go completely away, but it will reduce it majorly where it won't be a specific bother. I know people were talking about thermal paste removal, basically replacing the thermal paste so the heat sinks and everything would stay cool so your PlayStation won't overheat. If you're having that issue, I'd recommend looking at videos on how to replace the thermal paste. But today, we're going to be looking at how to reduce the fan noise so you won't hear the fan go off. I actually tested this and it works pretty well. And now, if you guys remember, my PS4 fan was really, really loud, especially in live streams that I did. I mean, take a look. The ammo's stupid low. No! Give me my gun back. So yeah, once I I realized that my PS4 fan was just super loud, like as soon as I come downstairs, it would be really loud. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to basically take the PS4 in certain parts. You're not going to take it all apart where you see the motherboard. Again, this is the PS4 Pro model. I don't know if this works for the other, like the PS4 Slim and the original PS4. This is just for the PS4 Pro, which is the one I have. So the tools you're going to need for this is a can of compressed air. This is mine, N-Dust, but you can pretty much use whatever compressed air there is. A brush. Now I know this is a makeup brush actually, but you can actually use like any type of brush, like toothbrushes. I mean, soft brushes I recommend. And then you're going to need a certain screwdriver that can put certain screws in. Let me just zoom in on that. The screws you're going to need are these little torque screws. I don't know what the heck that is. I'll leave a link in the description of an Amazon link to get these certain torque screws. They're about $12.99 on Amazon, so pretty good for a couple screws, especially the common sizes. You want to use, when you have these, you want to use the lowest one and attach it to your screwdriver. That's pretty much all the tools you need to get this baby apart, and I'll show you guys right now on how to get this done. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to do is flip over your PS4 on the upside down side, and you'll notice that there's this opening here. I basically took off this edge right here that's protecting it, and you can easily just slide it off with your finger. It may take, you may have to use a driver or something, especially if it's really stuck there and you haven't touched that before, so I'd recommend doing that. And also, on this end, you're going to have your little screw here. Again, I mentioned the screws in the beginning of the video. The screws that you need, the torque screws, are in the description below for the Amazon link. So this entrance right here is for your hard drive. We will not be needing to touch the hard drive unless you're replacing your hard drive with an SSD or just cleaning it out, which I also recommend. So you're going to notice that there's 3 screws here. There's one right here, one right here, and then there's another one right next to the power unit. Now, at first they are covered with stickers, basically to protect you for your warranty. If you start removing them, removing the stickers basically, that voids your warranty. So keep that in mind and do this at your own risk. However, I had my PlayStation 4 Pro for about since 2016 or 2017, so I'm pretty sure mine has already passed the basic, unit. All right, so once you have those screws removed, again, you just instantly, unscrew them. And once you have those unscrewed, you're going to be popping it in from the end right here. So basically give it a good pull. And then once you do that, once you do all that, you're going to pull this from the back. Once you get all those ends out, you're going to pull it from the back. And then this is where the protector for the motherboard under the hard drive is. So this is where basically the magic happens right here. You can give this a good dusting, you know, again with a toothbrush or, you know, any type of brush. I honestly recommend a regular brush because this obviously isn't a professional cleaning brush, but it does get the job done. You can also use compressed air on this to clean it out, because when I first opened it, it looked dusty. So I recommend cleaning that as well. The two screws that you're gonna focus on, I already removed them, but these are the two screws. So you have this opening here and this opening here. You're gonna unscrew just those two screws. You don't need to mess with any other screws on here other than these two that I mentioned. Again, this one right here and this one right here is the ones you unscrew. Now I'll show you what they look like right here. They both look like this, if the camera can focus, but they look like the small type of screws, so keep that in mind. So once you have both of those screws that I mentioned unscrewed, you're gonna flip over the PS4 and then open it from this end, two sides. Again, like the previous one, once you have those sides open, you're gonna slide it from the back, and then it opens and exposes the fan. Put that there. I also recommend on the other end, for the bottom, is also cleaning the top off, because that can get dusty as well. It's not gonna help you, but for your fan situation that I'm helping you in this video, but it's also nice to keep things clean. So once you have that removed, you're gonna go over here. So this is where the fan is, and I also recommend cleaning that with Q-tips, brushes, and compressed air as well. But I already did this earlier, so we're not gonna be worrying about that. The way the fan gets the air is through here, obviously, and then goes into the back right here where the heat sink is, basically like an AC unit. The problem is when it gets clogged up with dust is what causes the fan to spin up, because it's pushing more to try to get through that dust, and it just can't, because the dust can get stuck, it doesn't move, it's blocked, and then it causes your fan to go louder and louder when you play games. So this is how we can basically fix this. Now, if this doesn't completely solve your issue, that might be a problem with the thermal paste, which I'll talk about later. So what you're gonna do is that you're gonna remove these screws right here. So you have this screw here, this one here, this one, and then these two right here. So I'll show you. There are different lengths, but they use the same screw. So there's no difference between which screw. Again, let me see if I can get it out. So they are pretty tight. Here, have this type of screw, this long screw. Those are the only two ends that have this long screw. So don't mix them up with the other ones, and don't misplace the screw with a different opening, because that can be a bad thing, because the metal plate won't be secure on the plastic. Again, there's the longer screw. You're gonna put those on the side. Make sure you don't lose them, and then these ones are the same 3 small screws. Alright guys, so once you have the screws untaken, this one's a little stuck, but I'll get that out in a second because it's already removed. So you're going to basically pull both ends out and then pull this out slowly. Actually, remove this metal plate first. My apologies. Remove this metal plate first. Also clean that as well. And then open from this end or whatever opening you can find, and then push this out easily. So then it'll easily pop out to where you could find the basics. So let me put that screw away. So this is where the power is. Now, as you can see, there's a cable that lines up to the power unit. As you can see, the power AC. We will not need to be messed with this. Again, I would recommend still cleaning this because it could be dusty as well. So put that to the side. You can unplug it if it makes it easier for you. This is what we're focused on right now in this video. So this is where the fan gets the air, and this is where it pushes it out to make it cool and make sure that everything's fine. Now, this won't cool your PS4. That's a problem with the thermal paste. Again, I will talk about that in a second. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your can of compressed air and start pushing it to this side. Now, as you can see, the fan spins when you do that. Now, earlier, there was a bunch of dust. When I cleaned it, there was a bunch of dust that popped out. And it pops out from the fan, and then you can easily clean it with a brush inside or some Q-tips. And also clean the heatsink. Just clean everything in general, really. And once you have that done, once you basically used all the compressed air you can on this heat sink and making sure all the dust pops out of the fan, this will give the fan a cool time, letting it know, hey, it's clear, you can pop air in here, and it'll make it clear. So that's basically all there is to cleaning this out. There's no need to remove motherboards or anything like that, unless you really want to go deep into it to cut it from end to front. Then that's when you would probably need to remove the motherboards and things like that. I'll leave a link in the description for videos on how to really get detailed of replacing thermal paste and things like that on a PS4 Pro. But for now, we're just focused on cleaning this guy right here. So since you've done that, you're gonna carefully put the AC unit back into place. And then once you do that, you're gonna put all the screws, again, these are all small screws, you're gonna put all those screws back into position. Alright, so that's pretty much it on how to disassemble the PS4 appropriately and basically, you know, take apart and get the fan heat sinkers and everything clean. So what I will be doing now is going up to the room, plugging this in, and testing it to make sure everything went well. I will be doing a comparison with the clip I showed you earlier with how the fan sounded and how the fan will sound now since I've done the cleaning on the heat sink. So let's go ahead and get that a try. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so since we're back in the room now, the PS4 is plugged in. Now what I did, just as an added extra measure, is give it a little bit more of a, you know, floor space, because sometimes when you place it flat on the ground, it does get air from there as well, so keep that in mind as well. That's my hard drive right there, external hard drive. So now we'll test it out on Modern Warfare, because this is where the fan noise technically kicks in most of the time. So let me just turn down the TV, so that way we'll just be hearing the fan, we won't be hearing the game audio. Alright, so normally around when I start the game, when I get to the main menu, it starts to spin up and really get loud. But we're gonna get to, let's get to Warzone. Alright, so we're just on the menu right now. Nothing's loaded in yet, all the textures are loading in. Alright, so I'll just let this sit out for a quick second. No! Give me my gun back. Alright, we'll just load up a training mission, just a random training mission. So far, I'm not hearing anything from the PS4. That's not really the normal case. Alright, so once we are starting to play around, yeah, so far, there's not really noise. There's one thing to keep in mind, though, is when you basically start playing more, when you start playing more games like Warzone or anything like that, the PS4 fan will start to spin, but the fan will start to reduce the noise. So far, I'm not hearing anything. Now, normally when I start playing the game, in the main menu, that's when the fan would start to spin up. Again, the TV volume is down. There's no audio coming from the game. So now we're just focused on the PS4 itself. And so far, it sounds pretty quiet. Now, it will depend on how long you play the game. If you're playing the game for long periods of time, it will basically go to that angle where the fan will start to spin. However, the noise is really, really reduced, and you won't have to worry about it sounding like a big jet engine because the fan has been reduced, because it's not clogged with dust or anything like that to cause it to go to that certain angle. So pretty much, guys, that's how to really clean out your PS4 and reduce the fan noise. If you're worried about things like overheating, or if the PS4 is giving you messages like it's too hot and it shuts down by itself, that is probably an issue with the thermal paste that you can easily fix that. And I will leave a link in the description of a video I found on how to replace thermal paste, which goes high into detail on how to get that done to help your PS4 stay cooler. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this. And if you guys enjoyed, I'll see you guys in the next video.